We should be up and ready to go, I think. Let me just make sure everything's good on this end. My YouTube stream's going good. Sweet! Alright, we're doing good. Okay, cool. Today's going to be a bit of a late night stream. At least late night for me. I don't know about you guys, but yeah, let's see how it goes. There was a really good video with McNulty somewhere. God, please see if I can find it now, dude. Come on. Was it RNZ? No. Is it Harold? Dude, neck me. Where was the McNulty video? Oh, here it is.
Labor's annual conference is underway in Wellington as the opposition looks to make political history by turfing out the coalition government in November's election. I asked Labor's campaign chair, Kieran McAnulty, about the dynamics that will define the election.
Well, the first thing that comes to mind is I think this is going to be the first term national government in New Zealand's history. And that in itself is pretty significant. A real blow-on opportunity, but that's what happens when you campaign on doing something and then don't deliver on it.
People would accuse your previous government of doing the same thing. Do you think that's a perception that you are afflicted by?
Also, McNulty's based as fuck. He's from a rural community over here in New Zealand, and he's actually like been able to, because like before, like the Labour Party would have like a farmer would ask him something, would just completely flounder. But like this guy is like on his shit. It's some really cool shit to see in the Labour Party.
No, I don't. And if we were, I don't think we'd be consistently polling as the highest rating party in public polls. It's pretty clear that we have listened to what the public have to say about our term in government and what they expect from the Labour Party moving forward. And as we roll out policies, it's reflective of the priorities that they have. At the end of the day, the thing that's the most important to Kiwis right now is cost of living, and we're coming up with solutions to help with that.
That point of introspection is intriguing. So what has the public told you about Labor's performance in government that you've learned from?
One of the things that came about from particularly our second term with all the disruptions that came from COVID, there were a lot of things that we were trying to do for good reasons, but we ran out of runway. And at the end of the day, Kiwis want to see a government actually delivering. They haven't seen that in this government. But what they have seen from us is that we made a very clear commitment at the start of this campaign that we would only commit to things that we know that we can deliver, and we'll commit to things that people will believe that we can deliver. And so think about it this way. We've tried before to propose a capital gains tax, and it hasn't gone very well for us. We haven't got the level of support. We've done it this time, but we've done it in a way that guarantees that all the revenue that comes from that will be spent in health, where Kiwis instinctively know lacks funding and we need to find a way to increase funding. And it's landed really well. So we've listened to what the priorities of Kiwis are, we've stuck to our values, and we've presented in a way that they understand and are willing to support.
So if we think about that delivery gap, if we can put it in those terms, you know, voters will remember Te Pūkenga, Auckland Light Rail as specific policy examples the Labour Party put forward that weren't delivered during that term of government. What specific policies hasn't this government delivered?
Well, don't forget that they were elected on a promise to address the cost of living, and things have gotten harder.
That's true. Like, although the National Party started off with like an austerity platform, the big thing was like they were going to fix basically everything. That was kind of the play. And obviously people were just dissatisfied that, you know, our debt spiraled under COVID, which by the way is every single fucking government's debt spiraled under COVID. Right, New Zealand is special in this regard. So yeah, it just sucks.
For a lot of New Zealanders, they didn't campaign on a promise to borrow for tax cuts. They didn't campaign on a promise.
True, I've brought this up so many times. The National Party gave $730 million worth of tax cuts to landlords when it came to their interest deductibility, but couldn't pay $542 million for free school lunches. Just want to put that out there.
Promise of higher unemployment, when 70% of New Zealanders see their wages not keeping up with increasing costs. That is the total opposite to what this government was elected upon.
So you've said it's a different Labor Party this time, one that has learned from its time in government. Chris Hipkins was the Prime Minister at the last election. You were a senior minister. The front bench for Labor is largely the same people, as we're in a government that was rejected by the public with one of its worst results ever. How is this going to be different?
It's not a different Labor Party. We're still true to the values that we always have been. But the way we're going about things is different now. We're approaching this election with a clear priority on the things that matter most to New Zealanders, cost of living above all else, but jobs, health and homes. And when they look at this government and they see infighting and bickering and distractions and finger pointing, frankly, the thing I hear the most on the street is that people are sick of the blame game and want to see some solutions. And when they hear from Labor, that's what we're providing.
So the cost of living is the number one issue for many voters. National is currently polling below 30% by numerous polls. In a sense, the door is wide open, and yet Labor is only polling a few percentage points higher. Why aren't you doing better right now?
Well, we're doing a hell of a lot better than we did at the last election, so in that respect, I'm pretty happy with things. And one thing that stood out to me in the last One News poll was that the left bloc can govern on those numbers. So this government would indeed be, so that we are comfortably in a position to form the next government. And we are confident that as we continue to roll out more policies and people realise that the Labor Party is focused on the things that they care about the most, then we're confident we will see that number increase.
Yeah, polling suggests that the combined support for the major parties is at its lowest point in 3 decades. Why do you think that is?
There's a lot of uncertainty around politics at the moment, and people are looking for parties that are offering solutions. I think that actually it's not so much the share of the major parties that stood out for me. It was the reasonably high number of people that don't know, and the two are probably connected to some degree. But my prediction is that come election night, the share for the major parties will be higher than that, and that the Labor Party will be taking a larger chunk of that increase than the National Party will. At the end of the day, they've been polling below.
Like regardless of the polls, like Labour has completely outpaced National so far. That's a good thing at least.
30% consistently now. That's very rare for a first-term government. It's equally unusual for a party that is last time was elected out of government to now have a genuine shot at forming a government. So there's a lot of looking around at the moment, but we've been able to hold on to our numbers in the sense that it's significantly higher than how we polled at the last election. So that's a good platform to head into the campaign.
What's your prediction for election night and opportunity?
I think we've got a genuine shot of winning. I think it'd be a brave person to make a prediction about how this election's going to go. It's going to be tight. We know that much.
I'm not asking about, sorry, I'm not asking about your
opportunity.
opportunity. I'm asking about opportunity of the party.
Okay. I misunderstood. It's the change of name, isn't it? Yeah, sorry. Look, you've got to understand, I get asked this question all the time, and people, because my time at the TAB, they asked me to make a prediction and put odds against it, so I misunderstood your question.
So what do you think then of opportunity as they are now known rather than top? Election night, are they going to hit 5%? Are they going to win a seat? Are they going to be in the next parliament or not?
They might be. I don't really know. I mean, that's on them ultimately. They've got to play their own game. But as you'll see from the way we've gone about this campaign, we're not focusing on them. We're not focusing on anyone other than the government. At the end of the day, we want to lead the next government, and we know that the only way that we can do that is to offer a credible alternative to what this government has offered, which isn't much in fairness. And we're not going to be able to do that if we're focusing on how smaller parties are doing. We're going to push what Labor's offering. We're going to push the option of a Labor-led government led by Chris Hipkins with Barb Edmonds as the Finance Minister.
So your Labor-led government is the key there, right? Truthfully, the only option, if you look at any poll anywhere, for Labor forming the next government is with the support of
Greens.
very likely multiple smaller parties.
Yep.
So from your perspective, having had a bit of a glance at some of their policies, theoretically, do you think you could work with Opportunity?
Well, I mean, they've said they can work with either side, and so that's something that people are going to have to weigh up as to whether they're comfortable with a vote for them going to a side that they don't support. But we haven't said that we're not willing to work with them. At this stage, they are yet to reach the 5%. Like I say, we haven't spent too much time thinking about that. Our focus at the moment is to offer an alternative to the government.
But you're the
Our
campaign
focus is
chair.
on continuing to announce. Yeah, I am, yeah.
Yeah,
And that's why I could say with authority that our focus is focusing on the government, because at the end of the day, we want to change a government. The country needs it.
Yes, but in order to get a change of government, you're going to need the support of smaller parties. And so if your focus is solely on Labor